He said that he is my damn mans, but he switched on me like a transformer. Yeah, he changed. Nigga, you gon' get your ass changed. Don't get your ass with. Hey, had to run my damn bands up.
Shot meter on versus shot meter off. So you see I get a deep three here off the start. And you're probably wondering, and you're probably thinking that I should use my shot meter off. But one thing I realized with the shot meter off, it doesn't matter. There's no big difference. The main thing to even get a shot off is for you to be able to create space. This game is not like 2K18. Remember in 2K18 where you can just shoot in somebody's eye? It's not like that. Even people with shot meters off still miss and tend to miss and have times where they're missing and they're bricking when they're playing against good people. Now, this is all the shot meter off does for you. Let's say if you have a lower three-pointer, you're not primary in the sharp area, then of course, now you see how I missed that first shot right there? If I had my meter on, I wouldn't have missed. And that's a certain type of shot I'm taking. That's not just like a regular shot. It's a certain shot that once I see my meter, it helps me complete it. And that shot helps me create space. Each player develops go-to moves. If you watch anybody with their meter off, yes, they can hit if they have the space. Is the meter off just allowing players to shoot right in your eye? No. You can get a standard regular dead-eye shot, yes. But is it making you be able to just superly, overly green in people's eyes? That would be the only advantage of having your bar off. All it does is give players a little bit more of a boost so they can actually make a shot. Since the game came out, my build and the way I made my build and the shooting badges that I use and the jump shot that I use, there's no need for me to take my meter off. That only hinders the process of me seeing my actual timing. Now I do not lag, so I can calculate and take off how much delay I may be getting to always consistently green. You just have to watch the animation of your player. Are you understanding this? So just think about when you turn your meter off, all you do is get boost. You see right here, I'm using it, and I can tell the way how the meter is off, it's no supreme super skill. When Mike Wayne first was talking about this meter being off, he was saying and calling it a pro mode. And there's no type of proness to it at all. All you gotta do is get the muscle memory down packed, and then you just shoot. A lot of people that shoot with meters off don't even feel like secure in a lot of their shots. A lot of the times, I'm telling you, it's just a muscle memory feeling. I can playing on it for a while. I felt how it feels. It's just a muscle memory feeling, and then you get a bigger boost. There's no real skill gap to like where it's like, oh, this is the hardest thing to do. That's how Mike Wayne was making it seem like. You see how I'm greening up on it? I can easily get used to this. It's no benefit. It's the same type of shots I shoot with my meter on. Now let's be really, really real right now. I'm going to show you this game with me with the meter off, and then I'm going to show you a game with me with the meter on. I want to know what's the difference. See, that's the thing. There's no difference. It's just an ego thing when it comes to that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a build that can't shoot that well, then yes, turning the meter off is going to help you. But there is no big difference in the shooting. I'm telling you, a build that can shoot, if he has his meter on and he times his shot right, he's going to make the same amount of shots. That's the only difference for the pro mode. It's for players that have lower shots. Then they're able to shoot a little bit better. But even when you see and when you watch good players play against each other and they use their builds, they don't go and shoot all crazy with the meter off. It's not no big advantage to like, okay, this is why I won the game because my meter was off. No. In this game, like I've said many of times, it's all about creating space. You see how I shot that white? I don't deserve that white. My stats maybe help me get that white in and I have volume shooter on Hall of Fame, but with the pro mode on, whites are not supposed to go in at all. Isn't that the real meaning of a pro mode? Shouldn't whites not go in? Shouldn't you only green because you have your meter off? If you're timing it correctly, you should only green, right? So that I'm just showing you a flaw in 2K system. And this is why I believe that later on in the game, this is just how I feel, this is just what I think that they may do, is that they may nerf this a little bit. Because if you can, everybody can shoot when their meter's off. But I'm trying to show you guys the difference in how there's no skill gap in it to say, oh, I'm good because I can use my meter off. Then why are you making whites? Why when you shoot whites with your meter off, why does it go in still? That lets you know 2K has a random generator system that says, okay, this shot was kinda almost there, we're gonna still drop it in. But wait, Mike Wayne, didn't you say this is a pro mode feature? You can go on his Twitter. You would get a big penalty. So yes, 2K, we're gonna have way more patches. If people really don't pay attention, like we didn't have too many game-changing patches yet. Remember how pushing was in the beginning of the last 2K? Then after pushing was gone, the whole gameplay changed of like, you know, and then it became better. Now you see I dropped 14 right there with the meter off. It's all about the space that you create. It has nothing to do with timing the shot and your meter off just shows you're such a better timer. No, it's not hard to see the animation and get the muscle memory. If players was able to have their meter on, if their shot was good enough, their attributes was good enough, then they would just keep their meter on and be like, okay, oh well. You have to think about it like this. Your badges, and I said this from the beginning, your badges make you who you are. So a lot of the times the reason why players miss because they don't have the certain badges. If you don't have volume shooter on Hall of Fame and you're not timing your shots really, really well, that green window is going to close up. What volume shooter basically does is open up that green window. Just like Green Machine, it opens up that green window. Catch and shoot gives a boost to that green window. Range extender gives a boost to your green window. And that deals with the distance from where you can green up at. So understand the green window is the most important thing. This is why players turn their meters off so they can reach that green window. I don't have to because I have the stats for it. Who's gonna say, listen, if you have something that's directing you, right, and showing you how much time you have to release it, that's always better. Green. You see how swift it is? I'm not having no trouble. I could understand if I was having trouble and people were seeing me shoot certain whites and they're like, damn, bro, if you had your meter off, that probably would have just been green. No, people don't say that. People look at the shots I take with my meter on and say, damn, that's a good shot. Good shot. From since day one, I understand shooting. Look at that green. I understand shooting is on the space that you create and the timing. How far the defender is, what build he is. Does he have that badge? Is that the reason why he's contesting me a little bit faster? Do I have to create more space? This is how real life basketball really gets down. But just put into a game. It's all of that stuff. So you see I get my first miss. But like I said, what do I have, people? Volume shooter. That badge helps that. Stop getting confused. Certain players will say, oh, you don't need this. Turn your meter off and do this, do that. I have way better shooting benefits. Just because my stats are so high in the badges that I have a higher green window than most builds. I can shoot deeper. I can shoot earlier. You have some players who will go and get a few dunks, right? And then they'll start shooting behind screens. I don't need a screen. Once I create that little gap of space, I can pull. Just time, relax, watch the meter, get into the muscle memory. And with any player, if you're at a 90, even if you had a 90 or a very high 80, like 88, you can still use a meter. And I always say the meter for me helps me shoot further away. A lot of people with the meter still shoot very close to the line. Shooting further away is an advantage. Isn't that why Steph Curry is so powerful in the league? That's just the meta now. 3-pointers are very, very key. You know, this is why people are turning their shot meters off, just so they can shoot behind the 3-point line. Self-explanatory. You see, we set ourselves up here again for another green. And now, another big thing I'm going to tell you about, the shot meter. When 2K is lagging, right? You have to remember this. When you're playing the game, you are on a server. Remember that. And sometimes, yes, you can be getting a little delay, lag spike from 2K. Stop, green, look at that.